Welcome to Rambam in Depth. Today we're going to be discussing the Rambam in Hilchos Talmud Torah, Perik Chamishi, Halacha Aleph. And the Rambam says as follows: Kishem she'adam mitzuva b'kavod aviv u'v'yirasai, just as a person is commanded to honor his father and to have reverence for his father, kach hu chayiv b'kavod Rabbi v'yirasai. In the same manner, one is obligated to have honor and reverence for one's teacher of Torah. And then he goes on to say, that the teacher, one has to respect even more than one's father, because the father brings you into this world, and the teacher who teaches you wisdom brings you to the life of the world to come. Now, the Rambam is telling us that the mitzvah of honoring and having reverence for your teacher is connected to the mitzvah of kibbud av, honoring a father. So the question can be asked, where does the Rambam talk about the halacha of kibbud av v'em, of honoring one's father and mother? He doesn't do it here. He does it in the last sefer of the Rambam, and Sefer Shoftim, in Hilchos Mamrim, the laws that consider rebelliousness. So it's a section that deals with respect for authority. There he talks about all the dinim of kibbud av v'em. So if the comparison of a teacher is to a parent, he should have included the chiyuv of kibbud av v'em he should have included it in the halachas of kibbud av v'em. The halacha of kibbud Rabbi he should have included in kibbud av v'em. So from this it would seem that the Rambam holds that the chiyuv of kibbud Rabbi, the honor of one's teacher, is a chelik in Hilchos Talmud Torah. It's not just a halacha that you have to have respect and reverence just like you have to have for your parents, but it is part of the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. It's connected to the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. What's the nafkamina? What's the difference, practical difference? What's the difference if it's because it's considered to be part of Talmud Torah, or it's because it's considered to be like kibbud av? The difference, the practical difference would be, the question is asked by Mefarshim, are women also obligated in this chiyuv of kibbud Rabbi, honoring one's teacher of Torah? And the Chinuch says this applies to girls as much as it does to boys, but the Rambam doesn't say one way or the other. So the nafkamina is, if it's a chiyuv mitzad kibbud av v'em, then there's no difference. A girl is also mechuyev in kibbud av v'em, and if a teacher is like your father, then of course you have to have kavod for him. But if it's because it's a chelik of Talmud Torah, women are pater from Talmud Torah. They're exempted from Talmud Torah. So they would be exempted from kibbud Rabbi as well. That would be an nafkamina. But what's the logic? Why would kibbud Rabbi, honoring your teacher, be a chelik in Talmud Torah? So one could explain it in two different ways. Number one, if a person doesn't have respect for the teacher, then he's not going to be receptive. He won't be makabel. He won't accept what the teacher is telling him. And if you don't accept it, it's lacking in your learning. Even though you learned that teaching of Torah from the teacher, but there's something lacking over there, you're not going to really appreciate it. The Gemara in Shabbos says that Rabbi would start a lecture by first saying something witty, something comical, so they would laugh, that would break the ice, so to speak, and then they would start learning, and they would be learning with ema, with reverence, total reverence. It seems that that's part of the process of learning. Another thing, a person who has no honor for his teacher, he just says, well, this is an academic matter, I want to learn this subject, so I hear the teacher teaching this subject, I have no relationship with the teacher. If you have no relationship, you're not going to pursue the teacher. Yeshua, the student of Moshe Rabbeinu, what was his uniqueness? He never departed from the tent. So he was able to be makabel more than anyone else. Why? Because other students, they appreciated Moshe Rabbeinu, but they didn't have the same dedication. So the degree of dedication will also translate in the degree of your receptivity to the teachings of Torah. And that's why the Gemara says, "Gedei l'shimusha yosem milimuda," that serving your teacher, where you're in his presence all the time, you get more than just by learning the Torah from the teacher. Because there you could learn not just what he's teaching you formally, you could even learn what he teaches you informally. But then the question is, the Rambam says, "Kishem she'adam mitzuva b'kavod aviv ubiyiraseh," just like you're obligated to honor your father and to have reverence for your father, so too, you're chayiv b'kavod Rabbi b'yiraseh. It sounds like the Rambam holds that it's a chelik in the mitzvah of kibbud av v'em. So the answer is it could be both. Although one could learn that he's just trying to say, just like there's a chiyuv min haTorah to honor your father and to have yiras ha'av, same thing, you're obligated min haTorah, because there's a whole discussion of Mefarshim, if this is a chiyuv min haTorah, only mid'Rabbanan. And the Rambam is trying to tell us that it's min haTorah. Although it could very well be that the Rambam is trying to tell us there are two dinim over here. Number one, there's a din of Talmud Torah. That's why I included it in Hilchos Talmud Torah. And number two, it's based on the parallel to Kibbud Av, because just like the father brings you into this world, the Rav brings you into the next world. So the Rambam could really hold that it's really both Gedarim apply here. It's a chelik in Talmud Torah. When you honor your teacher, it's like studying Torah. And number two, it's also a chelik in Kibbud Av. It's connected to Kibbud Av.